Hi, this is Attorney Shaparali, and I'm going to talk about something which is very interesting right now because it's happening to a lot of people. I mentioned that in one of my radio shows, and it's about punitive damages versus liquidated damages when it comes to H1B workers. Many companies, especially IT consulting companies, tend to have all those contracts against their employees so that they kind of quote unquote trying to lock the employees with them. But an advice to them, an advice to the employees: be careful what you're signing for the employees, and be careful as an employer what you make your employees sign. For one, there are specific rules, especially Department of Labor rules and also state rules sometimes, where many of those contracts where you're trying to lock your employees, unless that employee is really of extraordinary ability or something like that, those contracts will not hold water. Not only will not hold water, it can actually hurt the IT consulting company. And one of the things that the government, the laws have tried to distinguish is what we call the part of punitive damages, penalties, versus liquidated damages. What the law allows is what we call something which is liquidated damages, and it has to be reasonable. For example, let's say the company says, if you leave me, you have to pay $2,000, $3,000. They might be able to get away with it because it's reasonable. But then if you're leaving the company and they're asking for $40,000, $30,000, where they cannot justify this amount, there's a big chance Department of Labor or even the state court will consider this as a punitive damages. And in fact, it can actually harm the company who's filing the H1B. For one, the LCA itself, one of the rights of your H1B employees, if you're an employer, is to get a copy of the LCA. And once they find that out and you have not met the requirements of that, it can actually turn against you. So I recommend that before you even think about hurting someone or threatening someone. That's another problem. Many companies, they get upset when the employees say, I'm going to leave. They start threatening them, and there are very strict rules to that. You cannot threaten. And if you look at the guidance on the DOL compliance guide, they say that the employer cannot actually basically threaten the employee, and you can also not deduct as an employer the amount for the green card process, which is the labor certification. So be very, very careful. And for those who are basically victim of that, we recommend that you contact an attorney. And again, here I'm not speaking in terms of state law because each state has kind of different rules, but at the end of the day, when it comes to H1B, it's still under immigration kind of law, and it's still federal. So make sure that as an employer you don't write punitive damages, and make sure as an employee you don't go ahead and pay all those fees that the employer because you're scared. One of the solutions, of course, is to report the employer to the Department of Labor. And from my experience, Department of Labor is not very friendly to companies which are actually trying to abuse the employees under H1B, especially trying to threaten them. And a lot of times, many of them will threaten them or try to cheat them. For example, they will try to make them say things that are not right. They will try to go around the system thinking it's very easy, but the truth is that when there's a lawsuit, all this will come out. And the worst part of it, that there are penalties on those for the employer. And as for the employee, don't be an accomplice in all this unethical behavior. You should make sure that whenever you're an H1B employee, you make sure that you know your rights, and one of your rights is to get a copy of your LCA. And also there are restrictions on liquidated damages, know that. And liquidated damages means damages that has already been specified in the contract, and there's a good guidance on this on the Department of Labor website, and I will put the link on the bottom of this YouTube. Please read it and I will hopefully do a guidance on the rights of H1B holders and also the rights of the employers. So make sure, whether you're an employer or an employee, make sure you are doing things properly, especially right now when USCIS and the government is really scrutinizing all those H1B companies. So we need to make sure that people are doing things right, not only for the good of the employees, but also good for of this country and also the H1B program. So ladies and gentlemen, with that, I say if you need help when it comes to issues on immigration, either it's H1B, L1, you name it, and you need help in situations like that, if you are being charged of punitive damages, please give us a call where we can at least guide you. Even we don't handle the case from here, we can at least guide you, send you to where you should, who you should contact, Department of Labor and things like that, and what is reasonable, what is not reasonable. So we can help you on those. You can give us a call at 510-742-5887. Our website is piralilaw.com. And anything I told you today is for educational purposes only. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any questions. The number to our office again, 510-742-5887. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Until the next video, I say goodbye, and we will be back.